It has to come to life. By bit, putting it together.
Okay, that is Barbara Streisand. Her song, Putting It Together. The art of making art is putting it together. And thought that was appropriate because tonight I saw The Collaboration, a brand new play. Well, in New York, it's a brand new play. It's had an incredible run in the West End at the Young Vic. I think that's the right theater, but now it's playing at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater, Manhattan Theater Club in New York City. The Collaboration, and y'all, it was incredible. So, what is it about? Who is it a collaboration? Well, if you can't tell by the cover, hopefully you can. That is supposed to be Andy Warhol, and that is supposed to be Jean-Michel Basquiat. Basquiat. Yeah, I'm saying it right. I think I am. Anyway, incredible play. So they are American artists. Hopefully, you know who Andy Warhol and Jean-Michel Basquiat is. If not, Google it. Look it up. They're immense, important figures in American art. Andy Warhol really kind of was like the father of pop art, and Jean-Michel was kind of he took graffiti artists to mainstream. They were kind of contemporaries. Anyway, so this play is about putting the two of them together and them doing collaboration. Now, it's based on some truth because, and Jean Michel was much younger than Andy Warhol, but they were friends, and they did do some things together. This is, and I don't know whether this actually happened or not. It's been years since my art history days, and so I don't know whether, but I know that they did some work together. I know that they were friends. I remember that. When Andy Warhol died, it really impacted Basquiat in a really big way. And I know that both died too young. So this play, wow. Okay, so it's only four actors, and the two main actors, of course, it's Paul Bettany, who is a big name. I've never seen his work. He does a lot in England, and the West End. He does a lot in British film, and then Jeremy Pope. And Jeremy Pope, oh God, I am in love with Jeremy Pope. Jeremy Pope. He, in his Broadway debut, got nominated for two, not one, two Tony Awards because he had a role in Choir Boys, and then he also had a role in Ain't Too Proud. That was the Temptations musical. And he got nominated, and this was his Broadway debut year, and he got nominated for Tony Awards for both. And then he got snapped up and did one of my favorite TV shows. I tell everybody to watch it. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch this show on Netflix. It's called Hollywood. Ryan Murphy project. It's amazing, and he plays Archie, the playwright, or the screenwriter. Actually, that's what they call them when it's movies. And speaking of playwrights, this playwright is Anthony McCarten. Anthony McCarten's written a lot of stuff. He's actually the screenwriter of the upcoming Whitney Houston movie, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Yeah, he wrote it. He's written lots of stuff. He's very big. So this play takes these two men, these two artists, contemporaries, and they're kind of forced together by their manager to work together. Yet they work very, very differently. And they're very, very different people. And it's very clear, but yet they meet and they communicate through art. And a brilliant, brilliant production. Check my Instagram. I have a reel on there that was the pre-show. The pre-show, they have a DJ out on the stage, and it is lights and music, and it's very hip. I really felt I texted a friend of mine and said this really has a feel because it's still in previews. It hasn't opened. In fact, I think it just began previews like last week, maybe. I think. Um, you can check me on that. I'm seeing it on December 7th, and I think it like began like November 28th or something like that in previews. I mean, I texted Maria that I really feel like I'm in some underground um, performance art, hip happening gig place because it was a lot of young people. It was an extremely diverse crowd seeing the show. Again, it's previews, so you get that, and the, the music was banging, the lights were going, you felt like you were at a club, everybody was dressed like I dressed kind of conservatively for tonight, and I'm like, well, shit, I missed the boat. um this is where I should have had my sequin high heel boots. Okay. Anyway, it was fine. It's not about that. It's about the play, and the play was amazing. A 2 hour long play, has one intermission. Um, it really talks about art, but it talks about the human form and who we are as humans, and but it talks about the urgency of these artists. And both did an incredible job. I'm just gonna say that, and then I'm gonna talk personal. So those of you that don't want to hear the personal shit, you can log off here in a minute. These actors are at the height of their talent, their ability. I mean, wow! I really saw um, Andy Warhol and Basquiat. I saw them. Also, most notably, Krista Rodriguez. I don't know. There's something between you and me, Krista. We have to meet, because it's very similar to my obsession now with Stephanie J. Block, where I just kept going to shows that she was in. I wasn't going because of her. Like, for example, I just saw Kristen 6 weeks ago. She was the Cinderella in Into the Woods. Um, I originally saw her. She was in the original Spring Awakening, and then I think she did the revival of Spring Awakening, the West End, the Deaf West. I think it was called Deaf West. The one she did that. I've seen her in a number of things. Christopher Riz. I think she was in Hamilton when I saw her, or she was in the Heights when I saw her. Anyway, I've seen her a lot. Now she plays Basquiat's kind of girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. So she has a couple of scenes. She is an amazing young actress. Amazing. She also has a great voice, and she's beautiful. But really, really great show. Really intense, um, moving. But it talks a lot about how we create art, how artists create art, and why. And it really kind of makes fun of the commercialization of it. I mean, again, I don't know how much of this is based on truth. In the play, Basquiat does not keep his money in banks. They literally open a refrigerator and cash falls out. Like thousands and thousands of dollars fall out of the refrigerator because that's where he kept his money. Um, I know I do remember this, that he was known to have. I remember this from history, that and this came across very clearly, that he really had no regard for money. That, okay, yeah, I can buy stuff and I need money to eat and to live, but he would paint in these Armani suits and these very, very expensive $1,000 suits. He would paint in them, and then he'd wear them in public because he just didn't care. He just didn't care. So that was really cool. It really got me thinking about art. I consider myself an artist, and I will call myself an artist, but I don't necessarily create. I'm not a painter. I'm not a sculptor. I'm not a writer. I'm not a musician. I'm not a lyricist, or a composer, or a poet, or an author. So there are times that I feel in the presence of artistry like this, um, inadequate. Um, I take other people's art and bring it to life, as a director, as an actor. And that's important, and I get that. But the real artistry is these people who create from nothing. This art. I think that's why I have such a bigger affinity to original musicals from original material, and I wish there was a different category in awards to separate shows that come from original material. Like, for example, A Strange Loop, the current Pulitzer Prize, current Tony-winning musical, as opposed to, or like the show Kimberly Akimbo that I love. I did a review on 6 weeks ago when I saw it. As opposed to the new Neil Diamond musical, Beautiful Noise. Or even some like Get Hot that I saw last Friday night that I loved. But they're based on previously sourced material. So it's not created from scratch. And I think that's what really impresses me the most. Anyway, so that was my little tangent about art. Go see this play. It's not open yet. It opens December. Oh, I just looked at that. Sometime later this month. It does open. It was 20 something. December. Maybe it was the 20th. Maybe it was December 20th. Anyway, it's soon to open. But I mean, tickets are available for those of you guys who go during previews. It's a really exciting play. A lot of comedy. I laughed. I was moved. I thought it's a beautiful, beautiful play, and actors that are just on top of their game. Okay, that's been this Theater Talks with Scott. Thank you for showing up, and stay tuned. I've still got more, guys. I'm not coming home yet. I'm still here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days in Manhattan. So stay tuned to Theater Talks with Scott.